So now I want to talk about the distributive property. Okay, so the distributive property is really a way of doing multiplication when you have parentheses. You can kind of think of it like that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to hop right into an example here. Here we have 2 times the whole expression x squared plus x plus 1. So in order to multiply these together, what you have to do is you have to distribute, so to speak, this 2 to each of these terms. Okay, so this 2 is going to go to the x squared, it's going to go to the x, and it's going to go to the 1. So you can write this out as 2 times x squared plus 2 times x plus 2 times 1, okay? And so we can write that a little more simply as just 2x squared plus 2x plus 2 times 1, which is 2, okay? So that's all we're doing here, okay? Is we are distributing this 2 to each of the terms in the parentheses here. Okay, so now let's take a look at this one. We have -7 times the whole expression 4 minus w plus 3y. Okay, so this -7 is going to be sent to the 4, to the negative w, and to the 3y. So we can rewrite this as -7 times 4 minus -7 times w plus -7 times 3y. Okay, so -7 times 4, that's -28. Okay, then we have -7 times w, so this will be minus a -7w. Okay, and then we're going to have plus a -21y, because -7 times 3 is 21, or -21, so we're going to have plus -21y. So we can write this more simply as -28. Then we have minus a -7w. Anytime you have a number minus a negative number, it's just the same thing as adding that number. So this will just become plus 7w. And then we have plus -21y. Anytime you're adding a negative number, it's the same thing as subtracting that number. So this will just become minus 21y. And that would be about as simple as you're going to make that one. Okay, so the previous 2 examples, we went from the left to the right. It also works going from the right to the left. So here we have the whole expression, -4v to the third plus 6 minus 2y squared, all times -8. So nothing really changes here. It's just now we're coming at it from the right. Okay, so we're going to distribute this -8 to each of these terms individually. And now we can write this as -8 times -4v to the third plus -8 times 6 minus -8 times 2y squared. Okay, so if we have -8 times -4v to the third, if we multiply the -8 times the -4, that's going to give us a positive 32. So we have 32v to the third, okay? And then we have plus -8 times 6. So 6 times 8 is 48, so -8 times 6 is -48. And then we're going to have minus -8 times 2y squared. So this is going to become minus a -16y squared. So just like last time, we can rewrite this. So we have 32v to the third, that stays the same. And then we have plus a -48. That's the same thing as minus 48. And then we have minus a -16y squared. That's the same thing as adding 16y squared. And lastly here, sometimes you'll see something that looks a little like this. This is a negative sign, and then we have the whole expression in parentheses, x to the third plus x squared plus 2, okay? What this really is a slight shorthand for -1 times x to the third plus x squared plus 2. So what you're really doing here is you're going to be multiplying everything by -1, but sometimes we just put the negative sign out front like this, because what we're really doing is we're just distributing a negative sign to everything inside. And we'll see what this looks like here in just a second. So if we distribute the -1 accordingly, we're going to get -1 times x to the third plus -1 times x squared plus -1 times 2. Okay, so -1 times anything is just the negative of that number. So this is just going to become negative x to the third plus negative x squared plus -2. Or we can write this as negative x to the third minus x squared minus 2. So what we'll see here is that really we just flip the sign of everything inside the parentheses here. So the x to the third became negative x to the third, the x squared became negative x squared, and the 2 became -2. And if we had any subtraction signs in here, that would have become positive because we'd have a negative times a negative. Okay, so let's actually do one like that. Let's write one out. So let's say we have negative, and we'll do y squared minus 2y plus 2. Okay, if we distribute this, we're going to end up getting, this is the same thing as -1 times y squared minus 2y plus 2. If we distribute that, we're going to get negative y squared. Okay, and this is the interesting part here. Then we're going to have minus -1 times 2y, and then we're going to have plus -1 times 2. So we have negative y squared minus a negative, so we'll have minus -2y, and I'll have minus 2. So this just becomes negative y squared plus 2y minus 2. So again, what we see here is we've actually, again, just changed the sign of everything on the inside of the parentheses. So the y squared became a negative y squared, the -2y here became a positive 2y here, and the 2 became a -2. Okay, so anytime you see a negative sign out front, all that means is you're going to just, if you make it faster for yourself, all you're going to do is just change the sign of everything on the inside.